Welcome to Virtual Realms. I'm Ranger One. Last episode we kind of got sidetracked. We were going to do an episode based entirely on raising this whole batch of Pachycephalosaurus, and that didn't really work out as we intended. We kind of got sidetracked in creating the baby boomer. But, well, these are the end results from our breeding endeavors. I think we got a... Well, I went crazy. I was breeding specific ones, and I threw all the rest over in my breeding facility, and I kind of forgot I had the rates turned way up, and well, I ended up with a lot of heavily mutated Packies before it was all said and done. So we've got quite a few, and we're going to move them up right now to the baby boomer and populate the Emerald Lake habitat. Well, we've made it out of the cave in one piece. I don't think I've lost any of them over the edge of the narrow walkways in there. Now we have the long climb up to the top. Well, this should be entertaining. It is going to take a while, but at least it's not going to be the absolute nightmare that it was when I walked a bunch of Karuku up here. I love Karuku, but my God, they're slow. All right, come on, fellas. Don't fall by the wayside. You can do this. And we are to the top. Good job, guys and girls. I've got about 2 or 3 times as many females as we have males here. They're going to crank out a lot of eggs. Right now I've got my breeding rates turned up because I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do this episode, and if I needed them cranked up, we'll leave it cranked up for a little while and get a bunch of youngsters out there and growing up, and then I'll probably turn down the breeding rate and turn up the baby mature rate just to see how things look. I've got a bunch of jerboa babies running around down there, and I'd kind of like to see how they look. Oh, there's a wild Packy there too. I'd kind of like to see how they all kind of look once they're all grown up. Alright, I built a temporary ramp here, which I'm having a little trouble getting lined up on with this group. There we go. Can you guys do it? Come on, a little bit at a time. Work with me here. Maybe I should have made this ramp a little wider. Nobody is allowed to drown. Oh, my God, did I get them all? Did I get them all in one go? You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Did we really? I think we did. Well, we'll check that out here shortly. I find a place where I can safely dismount, repair my wall. You know what? Oh, you're going to follow me right out of here. Hang on a second. Where'd my walls go? There you are. Alright, we're going to cheat just slightly here. Instead of taking the bird, we're going to go just over to the side to see if anything's... 1! You had to blow my record. 1! Seriously? Dude, you just had to be that guy. Are you a guy? No. Okay, you're that girl. Which was an old TV series that probably none of you remember. Come on, quit fraternizing with the locals. Can you do it this time? Thank you. I'm going to have to put the walls back up after I get done. Oh, and these guys are all up in my way. Okay, come on. Come on. Turn your backs on him, on her. Shame her. Okay, I've got them all up here. I think I have them all on wander. It's kind of hard to tell in that mess. And for some reason, they have clustered all together. It's a mad... Well, frankly, it's a Pachycephalosaurus orgy. Don't look. Look away. My concern is that they're so tightly packed that the youngsters won't be able to be catapulted out of this platform the way they're supposed to be. But we'll see. They may. As soon as the adult moves, it should get flung out of here anyway, but, well, they may be packed in so tightly that they can't ever move. We'll have to find out. Oh, yes. It's working. There goes the first one right there. The hatching is coinciding with dawn. Did you see that magenta baby go flying through the air? Once all these that are immediately visible hatch, I'm going to nip down to the bottom of the platform and just see how many are down there milling around. I think they're laying eggs, the way I have things... There we go. I think they're laying eggs faster than these eggs can hatch, which means I'm going to have to shut down the super rates here pretty quick. I ended up with some very, very nice color combinations, I think. Look at these guys. They are amazing as far as colors. Who would have thought these little ones would have so much color packed in their little bodies? Pachycephalosaurus have always struck me as kind of stodgy and set in their ways and rather bland little creatures, but apparently that's not the case. They have a secret wild side that comes out. Alright, let's go down and see what we've got cooking below the platform here. Yeah, that's what I thought. A whole bunch of them. Oh, and they're starting to drown. Well, I'm going to have to do something about that. The question is, what? Let's deactivate the shield for a moment. Even though we've still got eggs hatching up there, I really don't want to do that. But if they get where they think they want to go, will they turn around and head back? No, they tend to dance around in circles down there. Okay, I have instituted some emergency procedures here. They are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they may serve to keep these guys from drowning themselves trying to get back to their point of origin. Now, again, eventually that will stop. Something will happen, something will distract them, there will be danger, or they will grow to another phase of their development or something, and they will eventually start wandering around normally. And hopefully won't go back in the water. But if they do, at least they'll be swimming towards something, usually towards shore. So we'll see what happens. I've noticed that quite a few of them have split off since I gave them solid ground to walk on. A few of them are bouncing up from underneath this platform that I threw down. That's unfortunate. I don't know if those guys are going to make it and finally get bounced back. Oh yeah, I guess they will eventually get bounced back and onto solid ground. So that's helpful. Yeah, there we go. That's helping. So we should save most of them. Well, that was almost a complete disaster. Who am I kidding? That was a complete disaster. But at least we salvaged most of them. And look at those colors that we're coming out with. Very, very, very nice. Now that the shield's back on, they're getting catapulted out the way they're supposed to. Good Lord. That's a lot of Pachy's out there. Let's look at that again. How many we got wandering around out here? Alright, I'm going to take down the ramp, and then I'm going to shut down the game briefly so I can change back to normal breeding rates so that we don't get completely overrun here. Aw, little guy stuck under there. Sorry, buddy, I couldn't make it perfect. Alright, I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I have reset the settings, but I've got a mountain of eggs that have built up down here that are going to have to hatch. Once that's all done, and these guys are done with their mating for a while, I'm going to go through, I'm going to call out some of the ones that are just so-so, and let them go ahead and run free. I got to cut down the number of these guys. This is just way too many eggs, way too fast, and whenever I breed other stuff and crank the rates up, I can't have these guys throwing out hundreds and hundreds of Pachy's. That would be just a little bit too much. While I'm at it, I'll probably do the same with the jerboas. There are quite a few duplicates over here, and I just need enough right now to maintain their numbers. They already went through their little sprint of heavy mating, and they pumped out quite a few youngsters, which should grow up in relatively short order now and populate this area with jerboas pretty well also. Oh my god, that's a lot of babies. Holy smokes, what have I done? Well, the jerboas, over time they can travel quite a distance, but they, for the most part, tend to kind of stick to the same area, and most of that is due to their size and a lot of obstacles they just can't get over that larger creatures can. They don't disperse as quickly. These little guys, though, the Pachycephalosauruses, they tend to go in a straight line and just keep walking for long periods of time. Their pathfinding is actually pretty good. They don't tend to get stuck. I don't anticipate a huge amount of mating happening here on the ground if I turn some of my tamed ones loose, but there might be a little bit of that. But I think these guys will probably disperse quite a bit quicker than the jerboas will. I expect to find them all over the place in the adjacent areas. But I could be wrong too. I don't think I've ever tried an experiment like this with Pachycephalosauruses, so we will see what happens. Right now they're all concentrated in this little area. I'm hoping that it's not this heavily packed all the way across the preserve, and I could be wrong. There are quite a few out here too. Oh my god, what have I done? Well, I guess we'll see just how quickly they disperse. And right now, while they're young, they don't travel nearly as quickly as the adults will. Even so, a lot of them are already approaching the boundaries of what I would consider the Emerald Lake Preserve area. So I guess we'll see how it works out. Well, one of the Pachy young has already made it all the way over here to this side of the lake. That's pretty impressive. I figured they'd spread out pretty quick, but I've vastly accelerated the rate of their growth, and right now he's an adolescent. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. So far, water hasn't proven to be much of a impediment to them. There's as you can see, a whole bunch of them have already crossed this little stream right over here. Just zipped right on across it like it wasn't there. So that's not going to slow them down. They will be spreading far and wide very, very quickly. Look at how many of them there are over here already. I mean, the jerboas some of them are just as far, if not a little bit farther, but they've been working on it for an extra day. And they have a little bit more trouble getting across this water, but they're really not afraid to swim in shallow water. They scoot right across it. Well, really, when you watch them, it's more like they skip across the top, which is incredibly adorable. We've got some good-looking Pachy's running around out here. And now I've decided that the ones that I'm going to thin out from up top, just to keep the breeding under control, I'm probably going to take them from their containment cage over here. I'm probably going to fly those guys over here to this side of the lake. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because it connects with other areas. It's very rough and rocky over here, so those tames, they'll be my tames, not unclaimed Pachy's. They have a good chance of being hung up in an area long enough to actually breed and procreate over here without the benefit of the baby boomer over there. They can go this way a little bit. Oh, there's a raptor. They're going to have to fight for it. It only goes this far. There's kind of a really nice build spot over here too. But they're going to have to watch it because wild argents, that raptor, various other things occasionally pop up over here on this side. They've got a way to get up into the highlands up there above the waterfall, and those go up quite a bit into extensive little pocket regions up there. Or they could come across and go the other way into, well, at first, very rough terrain. This would take them a while to navigate, just wandering around. But once they get out here, they can either come over and end up going up on top of those rocky shelves up there. And there's quite a bit of interconnected space to travel up there. They can end up going all over the place up on those shelves. Or they could come back down and go into this cave. And if they stay on the shelf, well, they might go off the edge. They might go right back out to the Emerald Lake, the end of it right there at the waterfall. They could fall down toward Viking Bay at that spot over there. Or they could follow this ledge and end up coming out into this adjacent area here. One of my turtles has already managed to find his way through and has been wandering around over here for quite some time. And seems pretty content to stay right in this little pocket here. Hasn't gone upslope or downslope, but part of that is because he's been in stasis most of the time. I haven't been over here in this area very often yet, so that would impede how far he could wander. We'll see what happens. Yeah, as we swing back over the main part of the Emerald Lake habitat, I have to admit that it's entirely possible that I may have overdone it a bit. Maybe.